Welcome back to the House of Cards, everybody. Today we're just going to do a quick video kind of talking about the anatomy of grading high value cards, some of the risks associated with it, and I'm going to give an example of a card that I just sent in and that I will break down the entire profit margin on that and let you know whether or not it was a good idea to get it graded. But before we get into all that, if you wouldn't mind, subscribe to the channel. That would be amazing. Super simple. Click the button, you're in. And at the end of the video, if you do enjoy what you see, hit the like button. And please leave comments, and I love to respond to those as well. Okay, guys, just to get into this real quick, this is a box that just got back from BGS. And this was really quick. They are turning things around. Of course, this is the express level, which is $250 with the subgrades. It is only $150 without subgrades. However, we all know that the value in BGS is getting those subgrades. So I would highly recommend not skipping that, especially for high dollar cards. For the lower end stuff, you know, it's not as big of a deal if you want to skip the subgrades, but definitely for cards like we're going to look at today, I would not skip subgrades. So with that being said, here is the card, and this did come back, I would say, within 10 to 12 days from the time I sent it to the time it's back in my possession. So the grading fee on this was $250, like I mentioned. There was, of course, a little bit of shipping in there, but just for simplicity, we're going to keep it just basic. So let's first talk about what we're into the card for. So as you can see, it's a Tom Brady Bowman rookie card, and this card has gone up substantially over the last 6 months or so. I remember buying these around Super Bowl of this last February for, you know, $500–600. Now it's very hard to get a raw copy for under $1,000. So I'll show you here on the screen what I paid for this one exactly. Now I might have overpaid a little bit after seeing what I got on the grade. However, this is the going rate right now for these cards, so I don't want you to feel like I overpaid significantly for you know, quote unquote cleaner copy. You're going to be around this price point. So that is the total into the card plus the $250 grading fees that I mentioned. So that puts us at roughly about we'll call it $1,560 as our total investment into this card. Okay, so let's now reveal the grade that we got. So we got a BGS 8.5, as you can see there. The centering is spectacular. Got a 10 on the centering. The edges are 8.5. The surface is a 9.5, which is great. Super clean surface. The corners got an 8, and that's the one I'm a little bit, felt like they got a little tough on that. I think that could have been an 8.5, and then if that was the case, this would have been a BGS 9. However, they, you know, are looking at this one tiny little speck of white. I mean, it's pretty nominal. So again, I think they might have overgraded a little bit on the corners, but you know, it is what it is. So here we go. We got an 8.5. We're going to go ahead and look at this as a, you know, what we're working with. So again, the first question everyone's going to ask is, well, could you cross this over? Well, it's possible. With the centering being as good as it is and the surface being clean, it's really, you know, the edges are an 8.5. Edges are always tricky for me because, you know, I don't see any chipping around the edges on the black border, which is typically what you find on this card particularly. I've graded this card a few times, so I'm pretty familiar with it. Again, I don't know where BGS is getting some of these lower grades for. You know, I understand if it's a 9.5 because that means there's pretty much nothing wrong, but it's not absolutely perfect. But giving it a 9 means there should be something significant on there that shows pretty easily, but I don't know what they're saying. And then the corners, you know, an 8 I feel is a little bit harsh, especially when the corners really don't show much of any kind of whitening. So again, this might have been a little bit overgraded in my opinion, but we will go ahead and play the game as it stands. So let's look at some charts here. So I'm going to go and pull up market movers. All right, now this is basically showing you a price comparison here of a BGS 8.5, which is what I have, and then a PSA 8. And I wanted to do that just to kind of show where this could potentially go. Let's just say I did cross it over, and let's just say I got an 8. That's what we'd be working with. So let's start with turning off the 8, and let's just focus here on the 8.5, which is the actual grade. So as you remember, we're into this card for $15.60 all in. Now this sales chart here is going back 30 days. So we're going back to the very beginning of October. So back in October 1st, this card sold for $19,999, which would give me roughly about a $430–40 profit, which is pretty solid. It sold again on October 4th for the exact same price. Then there was a little bit of a dip, and this jumped down to about $15.28. So if it sold for that, I would obviously be underwater about $30. And then it sold for $1,400, which I'd be underwater about $160. $1,409, $150 under, $1,364. But then it climbs back up here to $1,800. So now I would be back above water on that one by, you know, $240-ish. Again, down to $1,430, I'd be underwater, but then it jumps back up to $1,885, which would give me about a $300 profit. $1,900, you know, about a $350 profit, but then it kind of levels off at $1,700, which is still profitable, about $150-ish. So you can kind of see this card has been very volatile, you know, kind of swinging between 2,000 and all the way down to like 1,400. But, you know, it is Tom Brady, and the rate that he's playing at right now, I couldn't imagine it going down too much further than, you know, kind of what it's been selling at. So, and again, this card is pretty liquid. It does sell pretty much, you know, at least a couple of times a week, it seems like. So that way, you know, you can feel confident that if you wanted to move it, you probably could pretty simply. All right. Now let's take a look here at the PSA 8. So let's just assume we wanted to cross this over and it came back, you know, hopefully worst case scenario would be an 8. You can kind of start here in October. The 8 was selling about 1,600, so starting off fairly decent, jumping up here to $21.95. So I mean, that was about 3 weeks ago, but still hitting almost $2,200 is pretty significant. So again, me being into it at $15.60, now selling at $21.95, you know, I mean, you're almost at a $700 profit, solid. Then we're dripping back down to 15, 16, 17, 16, 15, 1488. So as you can kind of see here, the PSA 8 line is, I'm barely going to go underwater, maybe just a squeak on a couple of these. But then look here, starting as of about a week ago, actually about 4 days ago, all the way up to 2,500. So now we're talking almost $1,000 profit on this card if it crossed to a PSA 8. So minus, of course, I would have to pay another $150 to grade it at PSA. So granted, you know, there's going to be a little bit more of a cost involved there, but for a $1,000 profit, it would be worth spending another $150. And then again, 2,400. So it sold twice within 2 days, which is only a few days ago, for $2,500 and $2,400. It had kind of an outlier sell here for $1,500, so somebody jumped on a pretty good sale, but my guess is the trajectory is going to bring it back up probably here shortly, and especially if Tom keeps winning and the Bucks are looking really promising to go back, have a strong playoff run again this year. So with all that said, I just want to give you a quick update on sort of what it's like to sort of, you know, grade high-end cards like this and kind of what some of your options are when you have it. As of right now, I'm probably going to price this at a price I feel confident in, that it will be, you know, a fair price, but also would guarantee me some profit margin. So I'm thinking around $1,900. I think we've seen those numbers hit on the BGS 8.5, and we've also seen what a PSA 8 can do as far as those numbers go. So if I can get back to about 10 days ago pricing here, it sold twice for almost $1,900 right there. I feel like I'm not asking a lot by selling it for the same price it sold a week ago for. So anyways, there you have it, guys. Just want to share this quick little analysis with you. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, that'd be sweet. And if you liked what you saw here today, hit the like button. All right, guys, we will see you on the next one. Peace.